Hello everyone. Today we are going to review an expert advisor, and in this video that might be a bit long than usual, I would like to explain what an expert advisor is, then to go a bit through the website, the presentation website for the Galileo FX. This is the name of the expert advisor, and then to see you how it works in a live trading environment. It is Wednesday, the 20th of March, the day of the Federal Reserve meeting, the FOMC meeting, later in the North American session. And I will guide you through all the perks of this EA, how to install it, how to look at properties, and how to avoid trading in high volatility environment, and so on and so forth. So let's start. This is the name, Galileo FX. It is a trading robot, and a trading robot means that you, as a trader, are not in charge with anything related to opening or closing a position. The robot does everything for you. What you gotta do, though, is to read the instructions manual and to program the robot in such a way to satisfy your trading needs. Now you might say, okay, what are my trading needs? The trading needs start with identifying what kind of a trader you are. You are a scalper, means that you might want to trade on the 1 minute, 5 minute chart for quick profits. You are a swing trader, means that you may be willing to let your profits or let your trades being open for several hours, several days, or maybe even 1 week. Or you are a long-term investor. And this starts with the time, the available time you have to watch markets. And in this case, when the majority of traders or investors, they do not have time to watch markets and to manually intervene into the markets, the quickest solution or the best solution is to use an advisor or an expert advisor or an EA or a trading robot to do the job for you. The easiest, not the easiest. The biggest advantage of a trading robot is that once applied on a chart, on a time frame, it trades all the time. So you may rest, you may sleep, you may eat, you may do sport, you may watch a movie, you may do whatever you want, as long as markets are open. The robot is instructed to buy or sell, to open or close trades on your account, on your behalf, with the risk that you, as a trader, have set it previously, either in terms of percentages, either in terms of hedging the account. This robot takes them all. The beauty of Galileo FX is that the name is a bit misleading. You might say that it trades only on the FX market. Well, it doesn't. You can apply it. You can link the robot to the commodities market, commodities such as gold, silver, oil. You can put it on indexes and even on the cryptocurrency market. Because nowadays many FX brokers or brokers also offer cryptocurrencies to speculate on, and therefore you might say that this robot might work for you every day, even during the weekends, because the cryptocurrency market is open over the weekend. So let's dive in a bit on this robot. This is an expert advisor featured on Bloomberg, Nasdaq, Yahoo, with a lot of features that you might find just going on the website. But what's important here and the starting point, besides the setting guide and settings that you might read or you might want to read, but I will explain them to you here. But what's interesting here is the performance. Now you can measure performance in various ways. And one of the ways to measure performance is to use an outside tool to show or to guarantee your performance. If you want, when you look at a publicly listed company, and you want to invest in it, and you know that every once in a while these companies, they need an audit, and an audit like Ernst& Young or PricewaterhouseCoopers and so on, they come, they look at the company and they say, well, okay, this is the audit. So the financial statements were presented in a fair manner. No, the same here. My FX book, this is my FX book. is like a standard in the FX industry. And on my FX book, what these guys did was they applied the robot, the EA, on various markets. Look here at the scroll, how many markets are open with Galileo FX on different setups and different currency pairs. Let's go from the start. So the first one is gold. As you can see, this is the symbol for gold applied on the 30-minute chart with a 38.88 return from March 11, 2024, March 15, 2024. So these are the trades from 11, 2024, 15. We talk about 4 or 5 full trading days. This is on the 5-minute chart, also gold and so on. But it goes, so this would be day trading, an aggressive or fast or slow day trading approach. Still on the 5-minute, this is the euro US dollar on the 4-hour chart. Now this is interesting because on the 4-hour chart we have a drawdown of 15.4, but also we have a 72.16%. So if you click on all these ones, a new page will open on my FX book. Let's click, let's pick one, this one. And if we go, a new page will open, and then you will have on this system, you will have all the details that you want to find on this robot. Of course, this is the advertisement from my FX book, and all the trades that it took, and so on, how it reached that performance, and all the details that you might want. So this is, I would say, the most important feature, or not necessarily a feature, but yeah, a feature in the sense that this is transparent. So this is transparency. So what you gotta do is to have a look at the setups, and if you are comfortable with the setups that the Galileo FX uses here, well, you can simply use on any other market. Like with any trading tool, because make no mistake, this is a trading tool. So like with any trading tool, you gotta pay attention to the setups again, to your trading style and to the market, because the market is different every time of day or the week if you want. For instance, today, as I mentioned, is the FOMC, the Federal Reserve will announce the interest rate in the United States. So by the time the interest rates is the FOMC statement is published, volatility will increase as well. This is the beauty of the Galileo FX, because in one of its setups, you can program it to skip trading in high volatility environment or in a low volatility environment and so on. And this will play well on your trading account. But enough with the with the introduction, or with a small review if you want of it. You can check the price of it, you can look, you can calculate the profits, the potential profits that you might make with it, the setups and everything. This is an Active Trades account. Active Trades is a UK broker, and what I did here, I'm still running the Galileo FX Pro on various time frames and various markets. From left to right, this is the US dollar Japanese yen 1-minute chart. So every candlestick that you see here represents 1 minute. Then you have the euro US dollar on the 1-minute chart. We have euro Japanese yen on the 5-minute chart, and we have the Great Britain pound US dollar on the 5-minute chart. So these time frames are 2 time frames, 1 minute, 2 time frames, 5 minutes. Why the FX market? Because again, as a trader, you need to be aware what's happening in the market in terms of when volatility will increase or decrease. Because yesterday, as all the FX traders know, or should know, the Bank of Japan announced its monetary policy. So it was expected that the volatility of the Japanese yen pairs would increase. And obviously, when that happened, when that volatility spreads to other FX pairs, so this was my pickup for this week, trading US dollar and Japanese yen and euro and Japanese yen on a 1-minute and on a 5-minute chart, and then obviously euro US dollar and Great Britain pound US dollar, because these were basically trading in expectations of the Fed. And The last trade that we see here are what? On Euro US dollar, we have a short trade, this one, volume 0.4 on a more or less 10K account, and it shows a profit of 126.83 something on the Euro US dollar, and 40 point something on the US dollar Japanese yen. It doesn't mean that it doesn't trade the Great Britain pound US dollar, or it doesn't trade the euro Japanese yen. It does, as you can see here. For instance, this is the euro and Japanese yen, and these are all the trades taken overnight or yesterday, or since I ran this robot this week. As you can see, this is short, closing the short, long, closing the long, and so on. What's interesting is that this EA goes on MetaTrader 5, not MetaTrader 4, but this particular one goes on MetaTrader 5, and it is able to open and close various positions and keeping them. For instance, look at the volume here. This is 0.4 on the short side on Euro US dollar. Where is the Euro US dollar? It is here on short side. It doesn't mean that it will not trade more. So it may take another 0.2 trade, and that would be 0.6, another, and so on. Or it may partially close and partially hedge the trades in such a way. So as long as it is running, well, it is managing the risk with a fairly good drawdown. And that's an important part of this EA. Now, if you go and right click after you apply the EA on any chart, so first you have to open a chart, and then to apply the EA on a chart, you simply find the EA on the Navigator tab, and you click and drag it on the chart. And when you do that, then on the expert list here, you will find the Galileo. So these are the setups, as you can see, Euro US dollar 1 minute, US dollar Japanese yen 1 minute, Euro Japanese yen 5 minutes, and Great Britain pound US dollar. And then you can play with the setups according to what we mentioned a bit earlier, according to your risk approach. So on the Euro US dollar, let's go on the properties. And then we see here the configuration that I used, trade from. This means when the robot will start to trade and when will stop looking for trades. So if you leave it like me from 0 or 12 at midnight all the way to 24 hours, so for 24 hours, this robot will look for trades on this time frame that I mentioned. And then this magic number is only a tracking tool or an identifier code, which is really helpful. For instance, if you go then and you look at the trading history, you may trade manually on other time frames, right, or on other pairs or other markets. And then if you want to know which market or which trade belongs to the Galileo FX, or it is your trade, a manual trade, then with this magic number you can identify it. This is really important. Lots or risk. And the word here to pay attention to is or. So in this case is 0.1. 0.1 is the volume. Now, if I delete the 0.1 and leave blank in there, or I put 0, then the EA will automatically open a trade, but considering the risk in percentage, so 0.5% risk on the account. But if I put here the volume trading, then implicitly the first option would be to trade with the volume. So on the Euro US dollar, it will take 0.1 lots. Here is very important to make sure that you know the margin used by your broker. Because if you would trade 0.2 lots, for instance, on such an account, 9,000 something account, and then if you trade this 0.2 and then the Galileo starts opening 4 or 5 or 6 trades on the same market, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, then the available margin, the free margin basically, will shrink, and at one moment in time, the EA will not have enough margin to open your trades. So what you gotta do is to adjust a bit to the leverage of your trading account. In Europe is 1 to 30, but it depends on where you are. So careful with this one. And then you have the stop loss, 200 and 400. Now careful here because these stops are not pips, are points. Nowadays, almost all FX pairs have a 5-digit quotation. For instance, Euro US dollar now trades at, let's see, 1.08411. So 08411, 5 digit. But one pip is the fourth digit. So if the Euro US dollar moves to 412, it actually moved only 1 point or 0.1 pips. So with 200 points, the stop loss will automatically be set at 20 pips or 200 points. And with 400 points, the take profit would automatically be set at 40 pips or 400 points. What does it mean in terms of money? Well, on a zero point 0.1 lot, 1 pip is 1 euro or $1. It depends um, on the currency of your account. And then if it goes 40 pips or 400 points, well, that's $40. If it goes 20, that's $20 in the other way around. So this is how you set the stop. Now, this is interesting. Consecutive bullish signals, consecutive bearish signals. Obviously, we don't know what's behind of this EA. I mean, we do know what's behind in the sense that it is based on 3 indicators, Bollinger Bands, which also measures the volatility, the RSI, Relative Strength Index, which is an oscillator. It goes from overbought to oversold territory. And also MACD, which some say it is an oscillator, some other ones say that it is a trend indicator, but a combination of these 3. And these consecutive bullish signals or bearish signals, they basically allow the robot to trade with more aggressiveness in different market conditions, quick reaction to market changes and so on. The smaller, for instance, if you set it on the number 3, is a quick reaction to market changes. But if you set it on 5 and so on, you'll find more details by when reading the manual. This is interesting and important. Volatility trading condition. Trade always means regardless of the volatility of the market's volatility, you trade always. Probably my guess here is that Galileo FX measures volatility based on the Bollinger Bands, because one of the features of the Bollinger Bands is to measure volatility, especially ahead and after, right ahead and right after an important event, like the Fed is, right, later in the North American session. So if you leave it like this trade always, it will disregard the volatility. But you have an option here. No trade high volume, no trade low volume. So with this, the EA will take into account the upcoming volatility when the Bollinger Bands probably narrow, the distance between them is narrowing, or the distance between them is widening. This would be the main setups you need to take into account when setting your EA. You can play with the number of stops, for instance, on the 1 minute chart. Probably you would like to have a 15 pips stops with a 30 pips reward, which is important. The reward should always exceed, ideally twice or more, the risk. So if we risk 15 pips, we expect to make 30 pips. So you may play with this. And then in the setups that one receives after owning this EA, in the setups, you have various sample configurations from depending on the trading style that you already know that suits you. So if you are working a day-to-day job from 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening, then trading on the 1 minute chart or 5 minute chart would be okay if you have a VPN, virtual private network, which means that you will have one computer somewhere on a computer farm, on the server farms, and then you will run your EA there, and you are not forced to keep your computer open at home all the time. And the EA will trade for you. You are paying a monthly subscription. There are plenty of VPN providers. So this also can be done. But if you are a long-term investor or a swing trader, then the robot will take and will open position less frequent than on the 1 minute chart or on the 5 minute chart, but with the same approach. Obviously, the stop loss and the take profit in the number of pips should be bigger, because it is one thing to take a trade on the 4 hour chart and another thing to take a trade on the 1 minute chart. So if a trade is open on the 4 hour chart, probably you will have 100 or 200 pips as stop loss and 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 as a take profit. And back to the sample configurations, you have three setups on each type of trading. For instance, you have an aggressive, fast, and slow setup for day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing. And there, the sample tell you, or the configuration sample tells you how to adjust the volatility to each and every setup. But you can also trade all kinds of setup. Let me check on my other screen here. The setup suggested by the Galileo FX programmers. For instance, one is Ocean Explorer. With these setups, you can trade multi-time frame analysis. And basically you have all the setups, how to set a stop loss, but also how optional, this is an optional thing, how to tailor to the selected time frame both MACD and Bollinger Bands. And I think also the RSI. Another one would be tight turn, and for instance, this is for high risk long-term investing. Or I don't know, Harbor Patrol, swing trading slow. So you have all these, imagine how many options to possibilities to set up this robot, and how many markets are there, how many time frames. So the possibilities, I would say, that are endless. This is important. License key. If you do not introduce the license key here, well, and then save and click OK, well, the robot will simply will not function. The license key you will receive after purchasing the robot. The customer attention and support is great, so that should be no issue whatsoever. This is Galileo FX. I would like to conclude that like with anything in financial markets, there is no 100% secure trading strategy. This is why it's important for a trader, either manually or automatically, to manage risks. So this is paramount. In other words, make sure that the settings or the setups for this EA are in accordance with the size of the trading account and the margin and the leverage of the trading account, the margin needed, because otherwise things can get out of hand. Well, if you have any other questions or whatever the ideas that you have regarding this EA, feel free to ask, and we will give you an answer. By the time that we close this, so these are the properties. You may see that the properties on Great Britain pound US dollar are a bit different. 0.1 with 0.5, 150 points with 300, and so on. You got the picture now. So if you open a new chart, or 2 new charts, or 3 new charts, and you click and drag the EA on the chart, it will start looking for trades. Thank you for being here, and have a great day trading. Bye bye.